Hey everybody, Elijah Anderson here, and today we're going to be trying something a little different. So, this past week there have been like a ton of different trailers for movies that are coming out throughout the year, and I thought I would just talk about the biggest ones, but since I have a lot to say, I felt like it would be better if I just went unfiltered, so I brought alongside my friend Nathan Cook.
Hello.
And, hi, and so today we're just going to be talking about the three different trailers that came out this week, or the three biggest ones that came out this week, and the first two we will be talking about are both Disney movies, and the first one is Mary Poppins Returns. As a teaser, I thought it was okay. I thought it was a really cool teaser. I liked the cinematography. It was cool to see Lin-Manuel Miranda in there, and Emily Blunt I think is going to make a good Mary Poppins, I guess, because I was never as attached personally to Mary Poppins as a movie until very recently. I'm not as excited for this movie, but I think it looks like it's going to be a fine movie. What do you think?
Yeah, I remember Mary Poppins from my childhood, and I feel like, yeah, they're doing what they can to respect the source material, and I mean, Emily Blunt is just talented, period.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, she...
Like, I really liked her in Edge of Tomorrow and in Looper, and I'm looking forward to seeing her as well in A Quiet Place, but I mean, I've got a feeling she's going to be a really good Mary Poppins, and...
Yeah, I feel like that too. And so apparently this is a sequel, and apparently it's the longest gap between the first movie and a sequel, like 54 years apparently.
Yeah, it's nuts. And then I guess in terms of like overall quality, like I definitely noticed it did seem like there was a little bit of like color grading and CGI in there. Like it didn't look too bad, but it just seemed like a little bit more than what I'd be accustomed to anyways. But I mean, other than that, though, like, I like the overall vibe that the trailer is giving, and then you kind of see her. Mm-hmm. Kind of a shame there's not enough Yondu.
Yeah. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all! Yeah, that was the best line from this. That was the best line from the movie, but yeah, it definitely needed more Yondu.
Yeah, it definitely did. Other than that, though, it's looking good.
Yeah, looking really good. The second one that I am actually a bit more excited for is the Christopher Robin preview. I really enjoyed this. I like what they're doing with Pooh. I like that he's not totally CGI. It kind of looks like they're doing sort of the Ted effect, where it looks real enough, but you can tell that it's CGI, except this won't nearly be raunchy as Ted. I mean, I just can't imagine Winnie the Pooh just going up and cursing up a storm.
No way.
I mean, I could actually sort of... kind of terrible to say, but I can imagine Tigger doing something like that. But
it looks a little bit different from what I expected as well. I mean, it kind of gave off a little bit of like, kind of like the Housewares and like the Beauty and the Beast. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit, but I'm sure I can get used to it over time. And
if I did have one little problem with the movie, or with the trailer, it's that it looks a little too grayish for me. And I thought, hey, this is Winnie the Pooh. It should have a bit more of a vibrant color palette to it, but maybe we'll see more as they release more footage.
I mean, it's likely, because I think they only show us the first little bit of Christopher Robin in the real world kind of being all gloomy and depressed and being bored, and it's like, oh hey, an old friend shows up, this sounds great. And I like that Ewan McGregor's in this.
Oh yeah, Ewan McGregor.
Hello there.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that they're bringing back Jim Cummings for the voice of Pooh, but they got an entirely different cast for the rest of them. They got Chris O'Dowd as Tigger. I've only seen Chris O'Dowd like once, I saw him in Bridesmaids, and I heard his voice in Epic when he was one of the slugs.
He was in Thor: The Dark World briefly.
Oh yeah, he was. Well, I remember so little about Thor: The Dark World. See, I don't even remember Chris O'Dowd was in it, but I actually think he's a nice choice. I mean, I heard that Alan Tudyk was being courted to voice Tigger, and I actually would have liked how that turned out. I actually would have liked to see how that turned out, but I think Chris O'Dowd is an interesting choice. They got a guy named Nick Mohammed, I think, as Piglet, and he is from England, and they got Sophie Okonedo, I think her name is, Sophie Okonedo, as Kanga. That's a really good choice, but it's kind of weird because I thought Kristen... whatever, I forgot her name, but she's Robert Lopez's wife, and was it Kristen Anderson Lopez or something?
I think so.
Yeah, I heard she was going to be coming back as Kanga, but no, I think Sophie Okonedo is a good choice, and I forgot who was doing Rabbit and Owl. Is it Toby Jones who's going to be doing Owl?
Yeah, I don't really remember the cast, but it's like
all I know is Toby Jones is one of the characters, and yeah, I think it's Toby Jones as Owl. Well, no, Toby Jones as Owl, and Peter Capaldi, I think, as Rabbit. I've seen Toby Jones around, and I think he has a really nice voice. I don't know who Peter Capaldi is.
yeah, he was the most recent Doctor in Doctor Who before the new one.
Yeah, but this trailer has me all kinds of excited. Like I said, the reaction I saw when I see a lot of reaction videos to this trailer, a lot of people are comparing it to Hook. You know, like the idea of continuing the story, having the main character grow up and sort of going back.
Kind of what I was alluding to earlier, and I mean, it would make sense that they went that route. And I mean, I like that It is kind of interesting though that they're choosing this direction. Like, it's something kind of different from what you would expect with just having a straight up adaptation of, okay, here there's a little boy and there's all these other folks, and it's basically kind of just like the other many adventures of Winnie the Pooh, but.
Yeah,
I'm liking this direction so far.
Yeah, and I think they picked a good director for it. Mark Forster, who kind of did a movie that was similar to this.
Finding Neverland.
Finding Neverland, which I saw and thought was pretty dang good.
Yeah, it was a great movie. Like,
yeah,
he was able to get a lot of impressive performances out of the cast, and like he did such a great job.
Yeah, and I feel like the whimsical tone of Finding Neverland, I think, would fit really well with Christopher Robin.
And I mean, you got him reuniting with Ian McGregor after they did that criminally underrated movie Stay. I know a lot of people hated it at the time.
I actually haven't seen that one.
But then it's just all like, yeah, like it was actually a pretty compelling, video analysis by Chris Stuckman that kind of made some really good points. And then just looking at the film overall, though, I mean, it's very surreal and dreamlike, but
yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad film.
Yeah.
You have to like really be open to what it's trying to go for.
Yeah. The only
not very many people were into that at the time.
Yeah, the only Mark Forster movies I've seen were Finding Neverland again and World War Z. Other than that, no. This is looking like a really cool preview, and I don't really know how you could go wrong with this movie, really, because there's really not much you have to get right about Winnie the Pooh. I don't think.
The source material isn't quite as demanding as some of the other things that Disney's tried to tackle.
Like with a lot of their upcoming remakes, there are a lot of ways that those could go wrong. You know, just as many ways there could go right, I think. But there are also a lot of ways that could go wrong. But Winnie the Pooh is so simple, I think, that the stories are simple and all the stuff that Disney's put out is so simple that, again, there's really not much you can do to screw it up. Really.
Not really.
No, not unless you just picked a totally wrong voice for one of the characters, which I'm hoping that Chris O'Dowd is not. I mean, this new cast looks very, very different, but I think they're all good actors, and I think they all do fit the characters, and so I do like that most of them are either Chris O'Dowd's not British, he's Irish, but I do like that most of them are actual Brits, seeing as that is where Winnie the Pooh originated.
Yeah, A.A. Milne, it all originated from his experiences, like World War II, which was covered very well in this other film called Goodbye, Christopher Robin.
I still haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it either, but from what I could tell from the general impression of it, it looks like it's really good.
Yeah, I actually have an interest in seeing that because from what I've read, Christopher Robin had sort of an odd, complicated relationship, not only with his father, but just sort of with Winnie the Pooh in general.
Yeah, and it's just really fascinating to kind of see that. And I mean, the movie itself, it's more about his father just trying to write the book to overcome his past traumas, as well as doing it for his son.
Yeah, I honestly wish they made Goodbye Christopher Robin maybe 10 years earlier, because then you could have had Ray Fiennes play A.A. Milne, and I think he looks a lot more like A.A. Milne than Donald Gleason.
But I think,
but that's neither here nor there. Again, there's really not really much you have to get right about this movie. Do you think there's any way they could go wrong? What do you think could really go wrong with this movie?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, unless they just picked a completely wrong tone with it, and it seems like it's it's very nostalgic and bittersweet, but they're hearkening to the source material. But I mean, it's only if they made it super dark, depressing, and gloomy. And I mean, that's just not Winnie the Pooh at all.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to do that anyway. And besides, it's not like the Winnie the Pooh stuff that Disney put out was always happy happy-go-lucky either. There were some pretty mellow moments, like like the ending to the Mini Adventures of Winnie the Pooh was like, man, that was like really deep when Christopher Robin and Pooh are just talking about an uncertain future. It's like that's quietly sad, but the way they just present it so casually is like, you know, like...
But it's done in the way that's still true to, like, Winnie the Pooh. But I think I was referring more or less to how modern reboots did it, or, like, how Batman v Superman tried to make its source material really dark and gritty.
Oh, let's not go there. Let's not. I've said all I need to say about that, and I don't want to revisit it. But, so... Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I know my dad and I are going to go see it because he's a huge fan. Mm-hmm. But, so let's talk about the third one.
Lead one, Mr. Grinch.
What's this?
Excuse me, are you getting that?
No.
No, okay, I have a weird history with the Grinch, actually, because I grew up with the Chuck Jones short. Scared the crap out of me as a kid because of that weird, evil smile that he always did, and just how over-exaggerated you could get the frown and stuff. But it's a really good short. The book is good. The Jim Carrey movie, I have a love-hate relationship with. I mean, I like it. I think Jim Carrey is awesome in it. I really appreciate the work that... and just the amount of torture that he went through to wear that getup. And apparently, from what I heard someone say, I don't know if this is a fact, that apparently that suit got so hot that he just shut himself in a freezer because he had so much makeup on him. And he actually took like some Zen lessons to be calm and become one with the suit or something to that effect. But... so I have a love-hate relationship with that movie. I watch it, but I know it's not really good, you know. It does have very lowest common denominator comedy moments, but I don't absolutely hate it. There is some stuff I like in there. I mean, James Horner score. I'm a huge James Horner guy, so his score was really awesome. I do like the song "Where Are You Christmas," and I thought Taylor Momsen did okay. But this preview rubs me in all sorts of wrong directions. I mean... First of all, they released the premise, and it sounds like a very complicated plot. I mean, not only is the Grinch going to try and steal Christmas, but apparently Cindy Lou Who is going to try and trap Santa Claus or something so he can thank her for all the good things she does for her single mother. So already they're kind of overcomplicating the plot, it sounds like.
But why?
I don't know. It's just... But that's just the premise. Maybe we'll get more as more previews come out. But this teaser... First of all, the Illumination logo, like you said, went on way too long. It's like they're still trying to milk the Minions for all their friggin' worth. And
it's just like, no.
And not only that, but the radio playing the Pharrell Williams Happy song was like, oh, like, because it was a Despicable Me too, you know? It's like,
no, but like even then, it's like trying to be all modern song choices and hip. It just comes across as just completely wrong. I mean. This whole preview is just wrong. It's not Dr. Seuss. It's like an insult to him. I mean, and I remember people being like really angry about that with like when The Cat in the Hat came out after, you know, the other Grinch movie. It's just
it's like, and I feel like, and again, from watching this preview, it looks like this movie's going to make the same mistake as the other movie made. Like, the Grinch in the other movie, even though I like Jim Carrey's performance, he's not really the Grinch. He's just sort of an a-hole, really. And it looks like they're going in the same direction with this. Like, the whole point to the Grinch is that line in the book, for 53 years I've put up with it now, you know, it implies that he hasn't gone down to Whoville for 53 years, and he just sort of stays up in that cave and, you know, grouses and is mean and stuff. But here he just looks like an everyday a-hole, you know? And like the way he just sort of knocks down that, I think it was a jelly can, and that woman had just sort of laughs. Like, that's the kind of stuff that an internet troll would do. He feels like the corporeal embodiment of an internet troll, you know? And that's not what the Grinch was. The Grinch was borderline evil, you know? Like, but that's the thing that's what's great about the book. He was borderline evil, but the spirit of Christmas changed him into a good person. Here, he just looks like, again, just a jerk who needs to learn how to not be a jerk, you know? Like,
yeah, it's like, there's just so many things that are just wrong, and And it's just so annoying to me that they feel like they have to like entertain these kids with like really dumb jokes, but the story of like Dr. Seuss's The Grinch Who Stole Christmas was a classic ever since it was published, and it was just something very simple, very straightforward, got across itself well with a good message, and the original animated special with Boris Karloff, really accomplished that with aplomb, and that was really all you needed.
Yeah, that was all you needed. And again, if you're going to turn it into a movie, I understand adding things to extend the runtime. But Chuck Jones, when he was getting interviewed about The Grinch, he said we wanted to extend the story, not pad it out. And I feel like that's what the Jim Carrey one padded out did. Instead of Whoville being, just this town that loves Christmas, they made him into overly commercialized jerk-offs who only got into the commercialized parts of Christmas, and they tried to give the Grinch a backstory, and
it's the Jim Carrey Grinch, it's not all that bad.
I don't think it's as bad.
It's not really. It seems to stray off further from the path of like the Dr. Seuss thing, but it was. I found it enjoyable enough as a kid, and I think looking back on it, it hasn't aged very well.
Oh, no.
But, it's still passable.
Yeah, it's passable. I don't hate it as much as everyone else does, but I'm not going to go to the mat for it and really defend it as a good movie. But, this preview...
But poor Benedict Cumberbatch. I can't believe he got roped into this. He would be a very good Grinch, but the material just does not
when I heard Benedict Cumberbatch, I was thinking, that's a great choice for the Grinch, because he does have sort of this voice where if they just went in the right direction, he could be a really good Grinch. But the way he just talks in the movie, today we will do mean things and we will do them in style.
That is something the Grinch would not say.
Yeah, the Grinch
ever.
would. No, the Grinch would never say that. And it's like. It doesn't even sound like Benedict Cumberbatch in the trailer.
No.
If you told me it was Ed Helms, I'd probably believe it. But
But
but okay, I'll say this for the movie. At least it looks nice because the Jim Carrey Grinch movie looked very smoggy and the colors were very muted. But at least this one looks nice. That's the one thing about Illumination doing Dr. Seuss movies that I think it has over the live action one. At least they look like Dr. Seuss, and Illumination's animation style, I think, lends itself well to Dr. Seuss's character designs and how they looked, and they look nice, but again, the content,
it's just appalling to me.
Do you think this will be worse than the Lorax though?
The Lorax was horrible. But I haven't even seen the rest of it because of how bad it was.
Okay, I have seen the Lorax, and it's bad.
It's awful. It's and I'm surprised Illumination still even got the chance to make another movie. Just because, I don't know, it made money, but it was still awful.
This trailer just does not look good.
No.
Does not. I am sort of intrigued to see the next preview because I want to see where they go with it, and I want to hear Benedict Cumberbatch talk more because I do like actually hearing his voice as the Grinch, even though I do think it goes a little too. It's going to go a little too silly. And I'm still giving it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this could work, but I don't want movies to fail, really. That's not something you should ever want. But
I'm not in that mentality either. But if there's something that just seems really bad, I just stay away from it. I don't try to be all like, no, don't go see this or anything of the sort. But it's all I'm just really not interested in the Grinch.
So this probably won't be a regular thing, but I thought it was just something I'd try. So I don't know what you guys think of the previews that we just thought of, so let us know in the comments below, and have a good day.
All right, see you around.